blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
Welcome to another episode of Moments with Myra. Today we are having a heartfelt conversation about love, loss, and legacy. My guest is Dr. Meka Douthit-Ingram, a woman of strength and vision who turned one of her greatest losses, the passing of her beloved mother, into a mission to help others. She founded Meing, a foundation that carries forward her mother's legacy while offering support, encouragement, and empowerment to the community. Today we'll talk about learn through grief, the journey of healing, and how pain can be transformed into purpose. Dr. Meka, thank you so much for being here. Let's start with your story. Can you share with us a little bit about your mom and the impact she had on your life?
Oh my goodness. I think that, this is such a provocative kind of conversation for me because my mama is my everything. To the point of you don't know how much somebody means to you until they're no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother was a firehouse. She was a force. That Neo song, I'm a movement by myself, but I'm force when we're together. My mama was that force for so many people in the community. And I'm talking about them. But for me, like I said, she was my everything. She was one of the first African-American female funeral directors who was licensed as an embalmer and a mortician as an African-American. All of this stuff I did not even know. Like, she was one of the only women in her class in North Carolina in that era until I went back after she left. After she went to be with Abba in the bosom of Abraham, I didn't realize how much of an impact that she had on the community until the time after the dash, right? And then I started hearing all the things that she had done and really putting it together like, I saw this, but when you're living it with the person, you don't realize how much that means, right? But so everything that everybody got outside in the community, I got at home. I saw how she loved. I saw how she gave. I saw how the community, like I didn't even know that people in the community weren't part of my family because I thought it was us all. I thought, and just in transparency, Myra is my cousin. She is a Gilmore. So my mother's name was Cynthia Loretta Gilmore Douthit. All of us was Cynthia's kids.
Yep.
Anybody that walked into the business, it was a house upstairs. Everybody ate, everybody got gifts. We didn't do anything in isolation. So that's how I grew up. And for her to go on and be in another place, that broke, and I couldn't talk to all of that. I had all of that. It broke my heart. So I know I digressed a little bit. So pull me back in.
Oh, no, honey. No. Don't worry about it. When before we started recording, I said that I was going to try not to be personal. Mm-hmm. But everything that you said resonates exactly as you said it. I mean, because like you said, we were a witness to it. I was there. Mm-hmm. I was her child. I was her niece. I was her cousin. Like whatever I needed, she was for me. And she always had my back. 10 toes down, no questions asked. And it's sad that sometimes we don't recognize what we have until after the dash, like you said.
Come on.
We learned so much more. It was so much more history, that we took for granted because we were a living witness to it.
I mean, like this, Tootie, for example, Myra, for example, our family had an ambulance service called the Angels of Mercy. My mother drove the ambulance as soon as she had her license, probably before, because that's just what you did. You had somebody in the car with you, but you went to do what was needed. She answered to the call. You know what is so crazy about that is my husband's dad got hit by a car at 16. His leg got cut off. He lost his leg. It didn't, within the accident and shortly after, he lost his leg. What I'm saying is that our family business, the Angels of Mercy, came to pick him up. And that is so profound because you had ambulance services, but people of color service their own. And the Angels of Mercy went into that community and picked him up off the street, put him on a stretcher, and took him to the only hospital that serviced people of color in that time. It was my mother who at 16, she picked up TB patients. Now, I'm a nurse of 30 years. When we handle people with that kind of respiratory infection, we wear isolation. My mother did not. So she was exposed to a lot of things because she walked. My mama was an angel of mercy. So she took people that nobody would touch so that they can go beyond our area lines to get the treatment that they needed. My mother was learning how to work with bodies as a child out of curiosity. And because what is within you is within you, she stood on a milk crate. And that is how she got, what was innate in her, how she brought it out to learn the service as a hands-on person because she was so curious. So for me, that made me, want to be a part of it. So we lived upstairs at the funeral home at 1609. I would come down every day while everybody else was playing. I was playing at the funeral home. So I would learn the business by watching her do the work, just because I was innately curious like she was. But that was my playground. I would go into where people were coming to see bodies. And I found this little lady who was my size. I don't know if you remember this. And I brought her in with me to my mama. I saw her viewing the body. I told my mama, because I was so big into having a friend. I would say, that's my friend with my country twang. And I brought her in there not knowing she was a woman of shorter stature, but that woman walked with me. And she allowed me to lead her because she came into my world. But because I was into that world, I learned so much. So who I am today is because I was raised with a woman who let me walk beside her, let me experience the good, the bad, the ugly. I saw the love, and I saw some angry people come in too. And I watched her handle all of this with grace and love. And with the extension of that was our family too, even when they were mad. And the community gave so much love and respect. It was such a beautiful thing. So I'm glad that I am who I am. So Meka Douthit-Ingram, who is now the doctor, glory be to God, I'm allowed to be just able to just meld and mold with all kinds of people because of the woman my mama was and because of the love. The motto at the funeral home is love is forever. That's what we lived. Love is forever. And you see the positivity and the tone and the intentions of what they chose. Angels of mercy. Okay. Love is forever. Those things embody who we were and who we grew up. And so now that is why you're doing what you're doing in the fullness and totality of your gifts. And we are doing kind of similar things in different spaces. It's all about healing, loving, giving, paying it forward because of who they were. I think that that's amazing. And like I said, I didn't realize what she did because that was my mom. And that's what I thought we did every day. I thought we got up and went to the grocery store and got 3 or 4 buckets for everybody because she was feeding the community so much. So I don't even know to this day. I think I've learned, I got a little bit better how to cook on a small portion because we would cook big pans of food for everybody to have it. So I'm glad that I got that skill set. And that's why it makes it hard when they transition on. And you do adapt. So there is hope in adaptation.
That's right. And, just even thinking about it and just thinking about the foundation that we were brought up on in 1609 forever, so much love, so much compassion. Yes. I think about your mama, my mama, being a nurse, your mama being in the field that she's in, and just how selfless they were, and didn't think twice about it. No. And so as we grow, it's nice to hear people talk about what we already know. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because
Mhm.
it's like confirmation. Because, like you said, that was just auntie, that was just
Yeah.
auntie making my ponytail so tight that I look Chinese. That was just auntie making me my ham for breakfast in the morning. You know what I mean? But to
Absolutely.
everybody else talk about our legacy, I
Yeah.
think that we need to start taking that a lot more serious than we do and realize that, like I always say, we stand before people as one, but our
Mhm.
legacy, there's thousands behind us, and I'm
Absolutely.
just so grateful. I'm
That's it.
so,
I mean, we are seated with giants. That's
yes.
why I tell everybody, you don't know whose presence you are in, so take advantage of it. I had no idea of the power that being in that Black-owned business and seeing women, strong women,
Mm.
how that would make me be able to sit and do and speak up. As a child, I was mouthy, but I stuttered. So
Oh,
for me, even you remember, so for me to even have through the refinement of God to even speak the way that I speak, that is because of the development. They made us speak and go on that radio program on WAAA.
yes.
Had to be on it. And let me tell you, we rehearsed. It wasn't a laid back. You rehearsed the day before to the point, and we rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed and worked together. And the way we came together, we just came together. But all of that was preparing, and it was the foresight. And it's almost like what we're doing right now.
Mhm.
It wasn't that bi-directional kind of thing where I see you, you see me. We were just talking to people who tuned in just to see what the family lived like that they saw on those calendars, just to see what that was, just to say. So we were their version of like the what was those shows that we watched, like the Brady's and all of that. We allowed them to come in and to see what it was like. And it's so crazy that now people are doing podcasts and all of these shows and
Everything.
yeah, just to do that. But our family thought of that long time ago, and we did. We lived out loud. We
And I'm thankful that all of us are being obedient and walking in our seasons in whatever way that means. You know
uh,
what I mean? We didn't go directly into the funeral home. I mean, if we needed to go to do funeral business, we could do it. But
yeah.
everybody had their own paths to take.
Mhm.
And just talking about your mom, our mom, Jeanette, the women, Aunt Sally,
Yes.
were around us. We have to, before we continue with our interview, we have to give credit to Granny.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Yes,
Frances Rebecca Smith Gilmore
yes,
was the pillar of it all. So
yes.
my mom, like I'm sitting here talking about my mama, she talked about her mother, and we were blessed to live around that. To
Mhm.
see they never slept. I mean,
Yeah.
you call them, you got them. I mean, my granny would get up in her house coat
Mhm.
and go to the door
I
and
remember.
greet and do whatever it is. I watched her press hair and do makeup. I watched her reel my granddaddy in and get the men in the line.
That's
They
right.
took us downtown to Mother's, what was that?
Mother and daughters.
Yeah, mothers and daughters and Davis, and all of those things to show us how we need to show up as young Black women. We watched some prejudices played out loud because we were of color shopping in places that you wouldn't normally shop, and it was a little bit of pushback. Although it was pushback, they stood in grace.
They
They
did.
stood in grace and showed us how to do it. Fast forward, things haven't changed. There is a little bit of what appears to be acceptance, but Francis showed us how do how you have a biological son and a daughter, an extended family. It was blurred lines. Everybody was family. We called titles of uncles and aunties and cousins and colleagues and friends, but we all lived as family. So
Mhm.
she established the way. I mean, it was just so many things about her. Was a dresser to the nines. What?
To the very end.
to the end. So it was just amazing how they showed us how to operate in confidence, poise, dignity, how to uphold, stick your chest out.
Yes.
Pop off and show them. They lived that before the lyrics were put to what we do. They did it. It was
Literally.
amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
So now, I know we talked a little bit about this, but give us a little bit more of an idea of what your relationship was like with your mom and what values did she instill in you?
My relationship with my mom was tight. She was my mother. She was my best friend. She was my cheerleader. I lived with her all of my life, off and on, all of my life. So she was, and even though she was married, after we had kids, she came to the house. I mean, so much so that when I was pregnant with Trey, you remember, they gave me a due date. She told my doctor she was not ready. We had to get her things ready and move them in. So I was poking and uncomfortable, but I let my mother be my mother because I understand that she had to take care of business so she could be fully present with me. My mother was not only my mother, she was everybody's mother, but I didn't feel less than. My mother, honestly, like my boyfriends in high school, they would come want to see my grandma and my mama because it was comedy. She had so much fun. She was the life of the party. She could be serious. She could be funny. She could be mischievous. I mean, was the biggest joke player. So my mother was a very important part of my life. She was there for me and she ran a business. I missed nothing because she always had a plan. You have an A, B, C, and D. She had a bench strength that was like no other because she would tap, Tootie would come to pick me up. Myra would come to pick me up. And I would be, your mama told me to come pick you up. My cousins, Donna, Monica. So she coordinated all of that and she always showed up and whatever she needed to show up. I can remember at karate, I would be, challenging for a belt. My mama come in because she'd been on a funeral with her Meing on, okay? And sit down there and grace and watch and throw that coat to the side and cheer me on. My dance recitals, if she couldn't be there, she had some. So my mama was my rock. She was always present, to the fact that I understood my mama to be more present. And later I know that position was God, but I held her to that because she was my present help. She was my one that showed up. She was, you know what I'm saying? And so she was really my all in all. And it was nothing that she didn't make happen. She coordinated everything. I mean, even for me, she showed me independence. And because I watched her, I was able to do some things independently, but she was a force, honey.
And she believed in us knowing our strength, knowing our independence, doing stuff on our own. She didn't play no games. She's like, now, if you got a man, that's good. That's fine. But I'm going to show you.
That's right.
This is what we do. This is what you need to do. This is how you keep your stuff in order. We'll talk about that dating and the husband and stuff later, but this is what you do. And like I said, just her strength. She was just so strong. And even towards the end, our conversations and stuff that we had, I mean, and it was just an honor to be able to sit and talk to her as an adult, and still get the knowledge and her give me words of encouragement and strength about life and different things and about forgiveness. And she was just, there's no words really to describe her. There's really no words really to describe her. Now,
once you had the love of Simpy, it's like no other.
Yeah.
Like, her presence. You knew when she was there, whether she was standing up front or in the back. You felt she just radiated this immense joy and peace like no other.
It was real.
All of that. And it was genuine. It was for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when she passed, what was the season of grief like for you personally?
Okay, so I'm going to take it back before I come forward, right? So I graduated with my doctorate in 2018. So, yeah. So I felt like, okay, now I can rest. I can live life. I can take my mama to travel because my mama gave so much to me. And then as she aged, she stepped back from the funeral business because she became a granny, she became an auntie. She stepped in to help us raise our kids because I had my son at 19. So she stepped up and did all of that. And as she aged, she stepped back so that she could help us live our dreams. So when we got shortly after I graduated, she got her diagnosis. And when she got her diagnosis, it was stage 4 cancer, and it was 3 different types. Now, we didn't even know. Now, my mom was a strong woman, but she held it down. But she always said, I know something is wrong with me before the diagnosis. She would speak up for herself when doctors would poo her away and say, oh, she's just a hypochondriac. There is nothing wrong with you. Why are you trying to make yourself sick? She said, I know what I know. And so she was consistent. So even though I was in and persistent to be her own advocate. So as time went on and she was getting ready, because she finally found a doctor that could diagnose this because she had a little bloody urine. And so he was getting ready to work her up and found out that she had some tumors in her bladder. He was going to cauterize them and do a procedure. But he said, first, I need to do a chest x-ray. And he needed to do a complete surgical workup because he's going to have to put my mama to sleep. So, and, my mom mentioned to him the same things that she mentioned to everybody. And it was his listening to her and him being thorough that we really found out that what was going on with my mom. So got the call that she couldn't have the surgery because she had something going on in her chest. So we went to the doctor, gloom walk, because the doctor stayed at lunch to talk to us. Gloom walk, she tells my mom she has stage 4 cancer and it's in her lymph nodes. And so immediately it was all of these doctors that we had to go to. My mama stood strong. Now I'm a nurse, I know what that means. And so I had to step back. So me just processing that started with the day of diagnosis. Okay. My faith is what said we can beat anything because with God, all things are possible. And I know that we have the dash in your life, and it's some people it's long, some people it's shorter, but I was going to make the best of what I could. So even though I knew by my training what that meant, my mama was a fighter. So that's when it started for me. Then I started to be her cheerleader. So that's when grief started for me. As we got into the diagnosis and navigated that, she wanted everything done because my niece was graduating. She loves all of her grandkids. My son is her baby because she helped me raise him. So she wanted to make sure that his daughter, everybody was good. She wanted to live to see Kennedy walk and graduate, from A&T. So all of that she put in front of her. Even from the day she had her biopsy, they couldn't put her to sleep because they said if they put her to sleep, then everything, all of these tumors in her chest would relax due to the anesthesia and it would crush her aorta with the blood flow and her breath. So they had to do that and could not put her to sleep. They just did local. So a 30-minute procedure was 3 hours. So when I saw my mama go through that, I'm like, I'm going to be her rock in that. But in the back of that, I knew from my training that it could be any moment. So that's what I started. I had been a hospice nurse. I had done the stages of grief, but it's different when you're sitting in that seat.
Yeah.
So, it got to the end of her diagnosis when they said they couldn't do anymore. And the doctor told her no more treatment because the chemo, the immunotherapy, all they were doing would make her sicker. And she would spend her last days in the hospital. This was COVID. So you know what that means? Nobody else would get to come and see her. Yeah. So she was like, no, we can stop this. She didn't hear 2 weeks to 2 months. She heard 6 weeks to 6 months. So I let her roll with it. We brought her home, and that's when I really started dealing with the grief. More so such that it's because we were in the state of hospice, I had to limit the people that came in to a certain extent, but I just made sure everything was clean. So it just meant more work that I had to do because I was going to make sure my mama's days was good. And because of what was going on during that time, me being a nurse, I had to step in and be her hospice nurse at times. So when they sent therapies in, I was listening to them for her, but I was listening to it and processing it for me. Mm-hmm. And when it hit home for me is when she was getting close to transition, like her hospice nurse, because my mama was strong. You know, was she strong to the end?
She was.
Medically, I would put her oxygen saturation, it'll be 67%. My mama would take her oxygen off, and we had the conversation and aligned. She would go and take, where she puff, she would smoke her cigarette, come back in, her oxygen saturation to be 54. Miss Strong would walk from her front of her and back to her bed and put her oxygen on. She was back.
Yep. And look at us like what?
Like what? Like, you know, she said you can't keep a good down, and you couldn't with her. And she lived that to the end. Myra got her a shirt because my mama would say, hell yeah. So that shirt she would put on and live out. Say it with your chest. Say it, you know, she lived that out. But as she was living that out, I knew I had to start planning for her, you know, for her transition and her death. And so she would tell me the things she wanted. She wanted clear stones. She wanted to wear this particular cream suit. And if y'all don't recall, it was hard getting things in.
Yeah.
So a month before she was transitioning, I had to start ordering her stuff and have it delivered to her house because I stayed with her in that apartment. I was sneaking in and hide it. And that was hard for me because I'm like, I'm preparing and she living. I want her to live. God, I wanted the miracle to the end. But I had to realize as I saw she was getting closer to that I had to let go. And I tell you, I would sleep on her couch facing her hospital bed so I could watch her. And I had a dream of what I was wearing to the funeral. I saw myself in it. I saw the things that went on. And, you know, she told me what I was going to wear. So I know that she saw it too. Okay. So, you know, there's things that happened to me that let me know that she was going to be with me too. I couldn't touch, I couldn't call, I couldn't hear her voice. But this was just a transition, literally. And so I had to start transitioning my thought process. Now, I said that, and it's hard. It still worked for me. I am now to the point where I can, with very intentional work, and I mean to tell anybody who is going through grief, don't do it in silence. Be what you need to be when you need to be it. Because for me, I had to pivot back and be a nurse leader and go back to supporting my staff with all things COVID. Then I went through a very bad divorce. So I really I grieved even when I took myself to the beach for my birthday just this year, and I'm turning 52, and it's been 5 years. It'll be 6 years in April. But you have to do the work. That means you have to cry, make no apologies, and give yourself the grace to grieve. Listen to me, the grace to grieve. And if you need to go get a therapist, if you need to get medication, if you need a medical therapist that's going to give you some medication, and you need a spiritual therapist or whatever you connect to, do it. And don't make any excuses about it because it is a process. It's a journey, not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's not time limited. It can last as long as that dash in the middle of what you're living out. So that, you know, and I took advantage of what hospice had, the trellis had to offer. I talked to the grief counselor. I'm blessed to have some strong, spiritual, connected people in my life that I could call throughout and talk to as she was transitioning. And it kind of gave me peace and reassurance and reminded me about what's on the other side. Mm-hmm. When you see them about to take that step, it's hard. You know, I watched my mother, and when she passed away, she was a beautiful light skin. She was purple. And I was like, oh my goodness, you know, if we have a service, we're not going. That's how she clamped down, right? But as she just like, you know, she got her color back and all of that left until her cheeks were just rosy, just like my grandma's was, right? So I knew what was going on. And I kept my hand up under her back until they came and removed the body because I could still, although she wasn't breathing, I could still feel the warmth. So you got to do what you got to do. If you can't do that, walk away and have the memories as they are. but do what you need to do. So, and I still deal with it. I tell you, transitioned into a coach. I've transitioned into mentoring, and I have coaches, I have mentors, I have everybody to uphold me because this is a journey. And there's days I could be like, "Hey, girl," and then there's days I feel like I can smell my mama,
Yeah.
or I see a butterfly or a cardinal or a song comes on, or I'm eating foods that we used to eat together. And I'm just like, oh my God, broken, but it's beautifully broken because I can switch and just pull out all the tools that bring me back and they help me get over. And I call too. You know, Myra, don't I call you?
Yes.
Having a moment, girl.
You
Help
call
me
each
through
other.
it.
And I
Yeah.
think that even though we appreciate all of the outside love and care and, support and stuff because it's needed, but sometimes you need somebody that was right there in the trenches with you. You need somebody that knows firsthand,
Yeah.
from A to Z,
Yeah.
and can sympathize and can understand. And I told you after I lost my dad, honey, grief is like we say love is forever. Grief can be forever too. And just within, he died in 1994, Meka, and for yourself, just within the last, I would say, 3 to 4 years, I've been able to talk to him and not well up, and not want to cry. And I still have moments, but I feel like that's a testament of the love that they had for us. They were far from perfect, but they were perfect for us,
Oh, that's so beautifully said. They were
Yeah, they
perfect.
were far from
Exactly.
perfect, but
That
they
was
were
our
perfect for us.
remedy, baby.
That's
That was,
right.
well, go to. That was our tonic, and to be able to just metaphorically have that tonic and be able to pull on those memories and be able
Mhm.
to call somebody that you said walk with and say, you remember when?
Mhm.
Because sometimes memories fade away, but when you can have somebody that can just really you know unite with that and bring it to you, and you like, man, it wasn't a facade, that was truth, I
That was
lived it. Yeah, that was real. That was real. Yes, it's beautiful.
Now, what were some of the most powerful lessons that you think you learned throughout the experience of the loss of Auntie?
That Okay, so when they took her away to start preparing her body for the for that final viewing and all of that, I remember Donnie, I just started singing like, when you've done all that you can do, you just stand.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's what I had to do. So, my mama taught me, she gave me the tool set. And what I didn't know, but she taught the different people because I was wanting to be there with her all the time, you remember. But
Yep.
she'll send me away and say, go run and get this person a hot dog. Go run to Dario's and get them a hot dog. They weren't hungry, but my mama insisted on whatever but she was preparing, right? These people that she knew that I would go through certain things and knew that I would need a tap, knowing they couldn't be my mama, but they stood up. So she had prepared all of these generals, as I would say, to step in and to be what I needed, right? So I stand and I tap. I stand on the fact that I can do this. I can get through this. I need to talk to myself. I need to get the strength. I'm strong. But she gave me all of that. And she also gave an army their marching orders and how they need. These people call me to this day. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to talk to them every day. But that's real love because we all know we've had it. You have people that they come eat the chicken, macaroni, green beans, pie, and punch, and you never see them again.
See it.
But yes, and all of the niceties that we have at the meal, these people are serving me to this day.
Mm-hmm.
They are calling me, and so the skills that I got were that I'm not fighting alone. The skills that I got was everything that I thought I was is in my creator who never leaves me. The skills that I got was through my own health challenges. I
Mm-hmm.
learned how to fight like my mama fought because I saw it. And I'm like, even on my worst days, I don't have what she had. It's bad to me because it's me and it's my personal, it's happening to me. I'm the one in four. I'm the one. That's my
Mm-hmm.
diagnosis. That's my pain. It's all of these things. But I saw a strong, resilient woman walk through that. She showed me how to stand when people that you thought you could count on are not there for you. She showed me how to get on my knees and pray. She planted those seeds. I felt every prayer that all of my ancestors have activated. It's just, she taught me, like you said, how to be an independent, strong Black woman. She taught me how to be a mother. She taught me the right way to be a wife. And she taught me the principles of lifting and leaning. She taught me that strength sometimes is being quiet and waiting. So there's so many things that she's taught me. So whenever you get to I don't know, it pops up and the answer already appears. One of my mentors, and this is what my mama get, just take the step. Like when you feel like you're getting ready to go off on the edge, take the step and the net will appear. That's what my mama taught me. And everything in my life, because this life surely has not been a crystal stair. It has been ups and downs and challenges and journeys, but she taught me how to stand. She taught me what I didn't deserve, and she showed me how to work hard to get what I do deserve. She taught me hard work and loving people and helping people and paying it forward and keeping it real. So these are the kinds of things and how to embody. I'm not by myself. I got children. I got cousins, I got friends, I got people that are going to come and just to carry forth. The greatest of these things are love. So with that love that she embodied, that is my greatest and fiercest tool. Because there's been some times in my life that I didn't want to love because when you get caught up in your emotions, but I had to literally, you have to learn to love the Hades, the hell out of people. And that's what I did. And it's strong. You have to learn to speak when people are rolling their eyes. She taught us respect. She taught us. So that has helped me, ground, and really understand. She taught me that you work and you rest.
That's right.
So it's just all of the things that she taught me that I've, and I do know because my kids have validated it in me. She disciplined. She taught me discipline too.
Oh.
And this life is why I am. And I raised my kids the same way. And even when they didn't understand, they tell me now as adults, I understand why you did that. I understand why you said the things. And so she gave me so much, girl. We could be on here talking to the next time. But you just have to say that there's not losses in life, there's lessons.
Yeah.
So she showed me, okay, yeah, this happened. Did it happen to me or for me? It really happened for me because I get to pull out all of these things and make it over. And people are watching. So they're like, if Meka can do that, I can do that too. And that's what she taught me. She taught me to love people when just so much when they didn't love. She told me how, she loved my dad to the end. They were not together, but she showed me what that is. And that's what I'm able to do with my husband now. So it's just, she taught me so much, girl, and I'm so thankful for it. She beat my butt too, though. Me, out there ain't got her butt beat, but it's made me understand when to be quiet and to respect authority and respect what is said and what is going on. So I'm glad.
But you're so right. She was so strong because there's plenty of times when I would go to her and she would tell me, you got to smile, you got to be nice. And I'm like, I don't want to smile. I don't want to be nice. Like, I want to fight, And she said, no, baby, I understand. Believe me, because that she could get down and she needed to get down.
She would, and she could curse you up. She'd up one side and down the other, and she would pray for you too.
Yes.
You understood what she meant and how she felt, but she snatched it back in love.
Stay ready. Look, she stayed ready so she didn't have to get ready. So Meka, at what point did you begin to feel led to turn your grief into something greater?
She told me advocacy, right? So she gave me the voice to fight. And she showed me too. So I turned it into something greater by all of my experiences, to the fact that now, I have this LLC called Meing Ignites Being. And it's just a wonderful thing because it is, I do my executive coaching, my personal coaching, and then it's kind of shifted because my mama was a dresser, right?
Yes.
And she would, she taught us how to boss up on a bargain. My mama was a hustler. She sold things. She made it come together. She was an entrepreneur, right? And she was a lady. So what I am doing is I'm paying it forward in advocacy, and that's a leg of what I want to do. That is to come. I had to come on another podcast, but just to stand up and speak, to stand up in the confidence of who you are, to stand up and to get things that you don't think that you can afford, and you can, because you don't have to go broke to look beautiful and the boss up, So it just led me to this Meing Ignites Being. And it's a movement. It's my name. The M-E comes from Meka, and Ing is off of my last name. But as I say it more, it's become that's what's got me through, because we all know that if I'm no good, I can't be any good for you. If I don't rest and recover and reset and heal and work on it and understand my boundaries, I'm nothing for you. So much so that if you're on a plane and it's going down, those max drop, what do they say? Put yours on first and then assist your neighbor. Put your life vest on and then. So it's not a selfless thing. Meing is my name, but it's what you need to be doing. You need to do all the things so you can be your best self, so that you can ignite your being, so that you can set yourself on fire as to whatever that means, so you can live your dreams, so that you can actuate and activate your full potential, so you can live out the totality, or what I like to say is a new form of CPR. You know what that is?
What?
Can't participate right now. You got to put some brakes on some things. Because I don't need to pounce on your chest. I might need to sleep and take a break. So I can't participate. And that's what it showed me. I can't be all things to all people until I take care of me. And there's so many times that we were taught that you got to keep going so much. Do we see the Energizer Bunny no more? You got to even recharge that thing.
That's right.
You got to take a break. So that's what. So Meing for me today is changing into a movement where we are empowered to do what we need to do to be our very best self, to walk in the fullness of our power or rest, so that we can be. So there's so many things that God has given me that I need to do with that I'm still building upon some things, but the platform in and of itself is Ignite Your Life. Ignite your life. And what that means is I ain't always got to be the firecracker. I might be the one to say, girl, I'm getting ready to take a break. Tell my husband, no, baby, I can't go. To tell my children, I'm going to be praying for you and you're going to be okay. Mama don't have to do that for you. To tell my friends, no, I'm not going on that trip. To tell my job, I love y'all. I can't do that. Can I renegotiate another day? Is there another time? Is there another event? And it has just so empowered me so much that I want to pay that forward. So it's like, we are stronger together, and I got to take care of me so I can take care of we.
That's
so
right.
That's what me is about.
That's a good point, because also too, it allows you to understand and realize that no is a complete sentence.
It is.
And like I tell my clients, you can just say no. You don't have to give no explanation. You don't have to say why. No. And they're like, no.
Yeah, and silence speaks too. So if you say no, ask me something. Let's practice it, Myra. Let's do it.
Meka, can we go to New Orleans tomorrow?
No. It's silent. So all you can do is smile.
That's all you can do.
You say they can ask you why. Say it doesn't fit, everything that I have going on right now. And I thank you so much for asking me. Is there another time? Can we look at another time that we can go? And then that's good. Nothing is left out. It's just and we got to get comfortable in the silence. Look,
Yeah.
it was so cute. You laughed. Some people might look at it and say the audacity, and right, and it's what my husband taught. It's my mitigated goal.
That's
I
right.
gotta stand up in it because this is what Meka needs. That's what Myra needs. That's what Reginald needs. That's what Jeffrey needs. John, Tim, Todd, Tanisha. It
Who
is
else?
you do it, whomever. God even rested. He said it was good and he rested. He had a whole Sabbath. So we got to be empowered to take that rest and say, I can't right now. I can't do it. I can't participate right now. Thank you for thinking of me.
And keep it moving.
And keep it moving. So, like, if you really want to know, like, how you can be empowered to do these things, like call like one of us as a coach and we can help you practice. We can give you the tools and the resources to be empowered, to be okay, and not have condemnation because you didn't, because you're taking your control back. Because guess what? As adults, we get to choose, baby. We get to choose. And people, if they love you, and if they don't, they got to respect what you said because you're coming from the posture of your heart. I didn't say anything derogatory. I didn't say, I just said no.
Mm-mm. And that reminds me of, I know years ago, my grandmother had told me, she said, Tootie, what you have to do is you have to tell people to go to hell in a way that they're looking forward to it. And I was like, how does that even work? But guess what? I know now. And it
Yeah.
works perfectly.
Yes. Package that thing up.
Yep.
Package it up. And it's a gift for you and it's a gift for me too. It's a gift of mutuality. And and I'm speaking, I didn't ghost you. Now that's what I don't like. If somebody professionally or personally extends you an invitation, a text, or call you, as my pastor Yolanda says, on the hella phone with some mess that you don't want to get into, you say, wait, you know what? Are we building them up or breaking them down? I choose not to participate. You call me whenever we can talk, go to lunch, have tea, but I'm not going to be a part of it. And it's okay. So you maintain control because, again, as an adult, you get so to choose. And you can't make me feel bad for my choice because it's what I need in this moment. And it's no love lost. Even more, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's behind me. The house could be on fire. We on this camera. Don't nobody know what's going on in my house. I might need to step out and deal with something that I don't even have the capacity to talk with you about right now. But it'll be greater later. Trust the process. We're given time for a reason. And like, it's a lesson. The lesson is in that you're like, oh, I can give myself the gift of time. I can block off my calendar. I can, do some things to pencil myself in. I can come in and take a shower. I can come in and put on my yoga pants. These are things I didn't ever do. I used to come in, put down work stuff, wash your hands, cook for my kids, do homework, do all of these things. Didn't even see my room until everything was put down. Now that I understand what Meing is about and prioritizing that I got to take care of me because I don't know what might be on the other side of these 60 seconds that I have. But I'm prepared because I got a t-shirt and yoga pants, not heels. I can run if I need whatever I need to do. I'm ready for it. If I stay ready, I don't have to get ready. And the only way I can do that is really when I carefully consider all that it's going to take for me to be successful, as much as you can plan for, because life is life.
That's right.
But if you do what you need, then you'll be a little bit ready, because sometimes we step into emergencies that you can't leave. All hell is loose and things are burning down. I can't leave. But if I haven't done all of the things up until the time, I can pull back or fall back on that and say, oh, this is just for a moment. But I can do that again one day. Yeah, that's what's beautiful about it.
And I think that it's important to remind people that sometimes it's okay to be selfish. Sometimes in order to not lose yourself, it's okay for you to be selfish. So it's okay for you to say no. It's okay for you not to answer the phone and let the phone call go. to voicemail. I think the one thing about you and me and us being able to be coaches and stuff is that we had a lot of practice with each other,
We
you
did.
know. And when some of my clients come and, they're going through some stuff, and I was like, Lord, I went through that back in 1992, girl. Let me tell you what to do. I think our transparency is the most important thing, but also, too, even in transparency, in my opinion, for me personally, it still goes back to Auntie because she taught me how to be transparent. She taught me that people going to say what they're going to say, you know. It's your story for you to handle it in the way that you need to handle it. Somebody got something negative to say about you, it is what it is. Everybody has an opinion. And I just feel like that's something that everybody could take a page from, just being transparent and letting people know I need a moment, especially after the loss of somebody you love. It's okay. I'm not shutting you out. I'm not trying to be funny because, people be like, oh, Meka was trying to be funny. She didn't even speak, or, oh, Tootie did blah, 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 whatever. I'm just taking care of me. Self-preservation is okay. It's okay.
And self-care is healthcare.
That's right.
Let me say that again for the people in the back. Caring for yourself is healthcare. Self-care is healthcare. So you got to do that. Like, that's the foundation of it all. It's you, right? You got to rest. You got to eat. You got to think. You have to pee. You have to do all of these things. That is you. So it begins with you and it ends with you, right? So whatever happens in life, you got to remember that and give yourself grace in that. And it's not selfish. It's not selfless. You don't know what's going on. Like I tell people now, because I got a medical condition that I got a mass in my head. I had to get a stent. I had to get radiation, and I have a hearing aid. So it might not be, Meka might not be acting funny. I could not hear you. And that's the real truth. I tell everybody, when you see me do this, I'm like, come on over to the right side, because the left got challenges. So if you're ever on this side of me and I don't hear you, it's because I got something that's going on, right? And part of my self-care is I had to get a hearing aid. I had to get the radiation. I had to get the stents, all of the things. But if I wouldn't have done it, I don't know what I'd be, I don't know. I might be in a bed in a home, So you got to start with you and what you need, and it's okay. You have permission.
For someone listening who may be walking through grief right now, what words of encouragement would you share with them?
Be authentically what you need to be. Don't fight alone. Nobody fights alone. Figure out who, as my husband says, your power circle is, and draw on the strength. When I don't have it, sometimes I don't even have it to call nobody, honestly. So I got to draw on all the tools and resources. Be what you need to be. If finding a group works for you, find a group. If you got the person, you got the person. If it's music, if it's exercise, whatever it is, just don't abuse it, right? Because if you abuse, you lose. So you can win. Don't give up on yourself. Just in activate. Wonder powers activate, right? Just whatever that is for you. You got to tap into it. And it's not one thing. It may be many things. It may be grounding. That's beautiful. My cousin taught me that. Myra, go outside and ground. I take my shoes off and breathe. Simple things that you can learn to do can help you so much. You can feel it. Sometimes I tell you when it's coming on, sometimes it just hits you. I just tell people I need a moment. My staff knows when I'm having a moment, I take my lights down. I could be meditating. I could have a headache. But you have to tell people ways that you can communicate so they know when my lights go down, that's a Meka moment. Meka needs that time. They will come at me at one point, knock on the door and say, are you okay? Boss lady, just checking on you. But you got to help people understand what you need.
Yes.
And activate what you need. Tap into therapy. Call the find help. There are things that we can have. We just don't seek it. So if you can't seek it, you call somebody and say, I need you to help me. And that's what they do. You pass that baton and feel okay.
Well, as we're starting to wrap things up, my love, looking back, what would you tell yourself during those early days after losing your mom?
I wish I would have just paused, as I say, can't participate right now, and done what I needed to do. I was such a workaholic and thought that if I just got busy, that it would make things like go away. It's kind of like Harry Potter and the cloak of invisibility, being invisible. It doesn't work. So I would rest. Everything that I'm telling you today, I would say can't participate right now. If that means that I got to see what are my resources like, what do I need to take, what do I need to do, and be that, and tell people, I'm having a moment right now. Just be authentically true and present and tell people, I can't right now. I don't have the capacity. That's what I would have told myself, to go through the process and do and seek out what you need as you're going through it. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you so much for coming on and talking to me. This has been such a beautiful conversation. You've shown us that even in our deepest pain, we can find purpose, healing, and a way to keep our loved ones' legacy alive. To all of our listeners, if you're walking through loss, I hope this conversation reminds you that you're not alone, even though you feel like you are. Healing takes time, but it also opens the doors to new ways of honoring the ones we love. Be sure to connect with Dr. Meka Douthit-Ingram and learn more about her foundation, Meing. Meka, what's the best way for them to contact you?
Look me up on social. I'm on LinkedIn, Meka Douthit-Ingram. I'm on Facebook. I really don't do Instagram, but if you connect, you can reach out to me that way and I will eventually see it. My phone number is out there, because if I'm going to talk, I'm going to talk. I have set up boundaries and things for myself and my own health and healing. So those are the ways you can reach out to me. Send me a Facebook message, tap me in on LinkedIn, that kind of a way. And the website will come. But right now I'm doing so many things, that I just like these personable interactions. So, call Myra. She can get you.
That's what I was going to say. You guys feel free to reach out to me as well, because I can get to her when nobody else can. And that's the truth. So if you have a question or you really, really need to get in contact with her, you can feel free to reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to get you guys connected. I appreciate you, Meka, for sitting down with me. Thank you for joining us today on Moments with Myra. Until next time, take care of your heart, cherish the memories, and keep moving forward with love.
Thank you so much for the moments.
Know your history, no herstory, all the lies and the perjury, the despising, the first degree murdering, all the journaling, under the guise of furthering a country so disturbing. Its word is not worth a Burger King sandwich or merch for purchasing. Pain and hurt is resurfacing, hanging, choking and gurgling. Slave behavior of worshipping slave owners that purposely raped us all perversely. Tear jerking is urgent, the serpent lurks in a person with no emotion or nurturing traits. Only through conversing can we help reverse all this hate. All human shades engage the universal debate. Inside we all the same color, matching curtains to drapes. And for certain we're great. You might be nervous to shake my hand or give me a hug, but that's perfect. Let's take this heavy project slow to properly interpret the weight. I'm serious, this ain't no joke, throwing dessert in your face. No matter your temple, your mosque, or your church, or your faith.
Admit what your elders did was a sin. Publicly and on the couch while you sit with your kid. Denounce your spouse to let that N-word slip out again. Then and only then can we begin to be friends.
I'm online trying to create a course like Excite Bike, and saw they overturn Roe verse wait overnight, like women don't have a right to choose what they do with the lifelike. Then I heard Mary Miller say thank you for saving white life. Her people tried to cover it like it's an oversight, but it's noticeable and clear as day like it's an overbite. Mary's hate spews for fake Jewish cheers. Obi Trice, don't support me if you go into battles like Yorkies fight. Behold the spite, mi hombre writes. He's a showman, a snowman frozen the coldest heights. My condolences for these moments when my composure composure seems to be its lowest, and my demeanor appears to be meaner, bleak and ferocious. Cause what we did for this world to be treated like this atrocious. Marvel characters based off black gods, hypnosis. If you don't speak on El Kibulon murder, you condone it. No more is waiting, it's time to stand and take the atonement.
It's man creating atonement to resonate with God in the God particle. Are all laws and all laws articles of clothing I'm holding my jaw and awe, son. Mystified by different lies stating that we all not awesome. Apart from inflation and pandemics, we racing a plan destined to erase us from man's heaven on earth on the block. This plot was clandestine since birth. My girth is of Goliath, but I'm cunning like David. When it all don't add up, I'm the sum of my favors. I come from a flavor that runs from the blood of the braver, the ones that won't waver when God comes. What you gon' say, bruh? Did you fight the dark, providing the light? Is your heart colliding with spite? Did you bark without all of the bite? Did you talk with all of your might despite all of the judgment? My plight, strong and is pungent, your sight, wrong and repugnant. Uniting gods in abundance, my circumference is of that of Aldebaran. Got it from Archangel Michael, I call his helm Metatron. Stepping on the neck of Antares, don't disrespect what a star is. I promise I won't stop this till I saw this quantum colossus. I'm Mars in this war, y'all are just novice.
Oh, 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 oh. We all come from the darkness. We are one with the sun. Oh, 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 oh. We all come from the darkness.